In this video, we'll be seeing how to implement reset password in Android. Here you can see that we have opened a project. This is the login and registration project that we have done on the previous video. So I will give the link for that on the description. If you want to see the video, you can come to this URL, youtube.com/codecc, and scroll down and you can see this video, login and registration in Android. I will also give the link for this on the description and also on the I button, so you can check that out. So we'll be continuing this video. So if you want to follow up, you can watch this video and then resume watching this video. So here you can see that we are having login and registration part done. Now you can go to the phpMyAdmin, and here we are having a table with the ID, name, email, which is unique, and password and a API key. So we have done this on the earlier video. So watch that if you don't understand this. Then we'll be doing the reset password part in this video. So for that we have to add 2 more columns to the table. So scroll down and here change 1 to 2 and you can click go. Here we have to create a field reset password OTP, where we'll be storing the OTP to reset the password. You can change the type to text, and then we also need created at timestamp. So select the timestamp option here, and we have to copy this from here and paste it here and remove the OTP, and let's say created at. Okay, now you can click on save. Okay, now go to the structure of the table and you can see we are having reset password OTP and reset password created at, which is a timestamp. We have also set the password reset created at timestamp to current timestamp. So you can see that we have set the default value to current timestamp. Okay, now that's all with the database part. Now we have to go to the PHP part. Here you can see this is the PHP part for the login and registration. So if you don't know, you have to watch the previous video where we'll be discussing about login, registration, logout, and also the profile part. Now we'll be creating a PHP file to reset the password. So go to here and we have to create a new file, that is resetpassword.php. Now we have to connect to the database and all. So for that we can go to the login, maybe go to the logout, and we can select this, and you can come to the reset part and paste it here. Okay, now for resetting the password we only need the email, so you can remove this API key part. So remove this much and you can see this line. Okay, remove that also. In this line we are connecting the database, so you can see the username and the password. So you have to change the username and password according to your username and password. Okay, hope you understand that part. Now here inside this if condition we can remove this much from here. So first of all we have to create a token. So let's create a token. So dollar, maybe name it like OTP. So this is the OTP number. Now you can see that we are using the random int function. So we have to warp this inside a try catch. So click here and type alt enter. Now if you are using the PHP Storm you can do this, otherwise you have to type the code. Okay, so I will type alt enter and click surround with try catch. Now you can see this try and a catch has been added. So if you are not using PHP Storm, simply add this line. Okay, that's all. Now inside the catch method we'll be using another function. So copy it from here and paste it here and change this function to RAND. Okay, that's all. Now if this function fails for some reason, this will be the function that will be called. Okay, and we'll be having the OTP number. Now we have to create an SQL query to update the password OTP and the reset password created at fields. So for that, $SQL update table name, and the table name is users, and we have to set the reset password OTP field. So set reset password OTP equal to, now we have to set the new OTP that we have created on the above line. So you can see that here, this is the variable. So we have to add a single quotes, then add the double quotes and dot operator. Okay. Now inside this, we'll be calling the variable $OTP. Okay. Now after this, we have to continue and give a comma, and we also have to update the reset password created at timestamp. So you can see that reset password created at, which is another column. So equal to, now we have to use the single quotes, double quotes, and use the dot operator. Okay. And inside this, we have to call the date function. Date. And we can pass the format. Okay, now you can see that we are passing the date with this format, that is year, month, date, and then the time. Okay. Okay, now you can give a semicolon here. We have to add a where condition to this SQL query. Okay, let's hit an enter from here. Okay, and let's continue here. Okay. So after this, we have to add the where condition. So where email, now we'll be validating if the email is equal to the email that the user inserted. So where email equal to $email. Okay, that's all. So this is our SQL query. Update users, set reset password OTP to the new OTP, and reset password created at to the current time and date. Okay. Where email equal to the given user's email. Okay. Now we have to run this SQL query. For that, if MySQLi query, and we have to pass the connection variable, that is $CON, comma $SQL. That is the SQL query. And now if this SQL query is successfully done, we have to check if any rows were affected or not. For that, another if condition, MySQLi affected rows. Okay. And then pass the $CON. That is the connection variable. And inside this, we have to send an email to the user. That is this email address. Okay. So we have to send an email with the OTP to this email address. For that, we will be using PHP Mailer. So here you can see this is the GitHub page for PHP Mailer. So come to this URL. I will give the link for this on the description. And you can see PHP Mailer. And scroll down and you can see Composer require PHP Mailer. Okay. So copy this line. And we have to run this Composer command inside the terminal. So I am opening the terminal. So you can see that we are inside the project directory inside the terminal. If you are not, you have to use cd command to change the directory and come to this folder. Okay, hope you understand that part also. Now we need Composer installed to run this command. I'm already having Composer installed. If you are not having Composer installed, simply search Google for Composer and run that .exe file. Okay, hope you understand that. Now let's run this command. Now the Composer command has been run and you can see a folder vendor. So let's minimize the terminal, and also you can see a composer.json file. Okay. And we are having require PHP Mailer. Okay. Now that's all. So we have to require this vendor and inside that autoload.php. Okay. We have to require this file. So let's do that on the top. Okay, we have recorded the file autoload.php. Now go back to the documentation, and here you can scroll down and you can see the code. So here you can see a simple example, and here we can see the code. So first of all, we can copy this line from here, this 3 line, and go to the PHP, and on the top here we can paste it. Okay, go back to the documentation and scroll down here, and you can see from here. Okay, create an instance. Okay, from here, and from here copy till the bottom. Okay, till here. Okay, so this much you have to copy, and we have to paste it inside this if condition. Okay, so let's paste it here. Okay, now we have to remove this line from here, this line, this SMTP debug line. Okay, and you can remove the comments if you want to, and also you have to set the SMTP details here. So I'll be using my details, and I will not be showing you the details. So you have to use your own details here. This is the SMTP host details, and here you have to give the account username, that is the email, and here the password. That's all. Then this will run properly. Okay, you have to change these details. These 3 details are the important part. Okay, you have to change that, otherwise the email won't be sent. Now you can scroll down, and here also we have to change the details. This is the from details, that is it will be shown in the email. So you can change this part also, and this is the to address. So let's change the second line, this one. Let's remove that, and you can also remove this name because we don't have the name. So let's remove that. If you're having the name of the user, you can simply give it like, give a comma and then pass the name of the user. So we are not passing the name. Okay, so we'll be only using the email, and we are having the email inside the variable $email. Okay, now this is the reply to email address. You can give any information here. Okay, and let's remove this CC and BCC, and we'll not be attaching anything. So let's remove these 2 lines. Here we have to set isHTML to true, and we have to pass the subject. So the subject is reset password, and this is the body of the email. So let's give a message. Okay, you can see the messages, your OTP to reset password is, and then we are passing the OTP that we generated. So this will send the OTP to the user, and this one you can give something like reset password to access the application or something like that. It will be shown inside the Gmail under the title. Okay, and this is the send function. So let's warp this inside an if condition. If mail send, and if it is true, we can echo success. Okay, if it is true, we are going to echo success. So remove this, and let's echo success. Okay, so here you can see the text success is in small caps. So you have to make sure that the success message is in small letters, because we are using this message to check inside the Java part, and we are not converting it to small letters or something. If you are using some other caps lock or something inside this message, you have to make sure that you are making the changes on the Java part also. Okay, let's keep it to success like this, and also add an else part. Else echo, and we can pass some message like fail to send OTP through mail or something like that. Okay, now that part is done. And this one you can keep it like that. If any exception happens, this message will be shown to the user. Okay, if you want to change that, you can do that also. And let's go to the top. You can see this rows affected if condition, and we have to add an else part for that. So scroll down, and here else echo, let's give a message something like reset password failed. And you can also see another if condition here, and that one you can give something like maybe the same error message. You can give any error message, so I'm just giving something. Okay, our PHP part is almost complete, I guess. Okay, I think everything is done on the PHP part. So I'll be changing these details, that is the SMTP details. So you have to use your details here. I will not be showing the details that I'm going to use. So use your own details and change the host, username, and the password, because these three are very important. Now we are done with the reset password.php file. Okay, so we can create a new file, new password.php. Okay, let's drag and drop it here. Okay, and inside this file we have to connect to the database and all. So let's copy from here and let's paste it to this file, and we'll not be sending any mail. So let's remove all this inside this if condition. Okay, so you can see we are removing everything inside this if condition. Okay, so let's remove that. Okay, now we don't need the OTP here, so you can remove these lines also. Okay, and you can also remove this line, the use PHP mailer part, because we are not sending any email here. So remove that line. And here in the if condition, where we are checking if the email is present or not, we have to check for the OTP and also for the new password as well. So let's add them and copy this much from here, paste it here, give an and again, and paste this again, and change this email to OTP. So we are using the key name OTP. Okay, so we'll be using this name on the Java part as well. Okay, the next one is new password. New password. Okay, now here we are checking if the email, OTP, and the new password are present. Otherwise, it will show an error. All fields are required. Okay. Now we can change that to a variable like this. And here we have to give new underscore password, because for PHP variable names, we cannot use the hyphen. Okay. So we have stored all these from the post variables to the variables that we just created. Now we have to update the users table, and we have to change this SQL query. So the new SQL query will be to update the password. So for that, we have to encrypt the password first. So here, come to this line and add a function password hash. Okay, inside that pass the new password, and also one more parameter, that is default password. Password default. Okay, now this will hash the password. This will encrypt the password. Okay, now we can update the SQL query, and the SQL query will be update users set reset password OTP. We have to set the reset password OTP to empty. So remove this much and set it to empty. And also we have to set the created at to empty. So remove this much and make it empty. Okay, let's hit and enter from here. Okay, and where email equal to email, and that is correct. And we also have to check where reset password OTP is equal to the OTP that we have received here. Okay, so come to this here and give a space, use an AND operator. We have to check the password reset, that is the reset password OTP field. So give the field name equal to give the OTP here, $OTP. Okay, now our SQL query is ready. So update users set reset password OTP to empty, and also we are setting the created at to empty, where email and OTP is equal to the ones that we have passed from the Android. So here we also have to set the new password. So go to the set here and give a space, password equal to, now give the new password inside here, $new password. Now this will update the password. Come to here and give a comma here. Okay, now we are done with the SQL query. I will hit an enter here so you can view the SQL query properly. So this is our SQL query. So don't make any mistakes here. If you make any small mistake here, maybe this single quote or something like that, it will cause error. So don't make any mistake here. So watch the SQL query properly. Okay, now we have to go inside this if condition where we are checking if any rows were affected or not. And if the rows are affected, you can echo success. Okay, now that's all. You can also remove this require from here because we are not using the PHP mailer. So remove that line also. Okay, now the new password.php file is also completed. So we are done with the API part. Now we can move to the Android part. Now we have opened the Android part. So this is the continuation of the login and register. So if you want to follow up, you can see the previous video. And also if you want to create a new project and follow up, you can simply create a new project and follow up with this video, because we are not doing anything special. We are simply creating a new activity and you can use a new project instead. That's all. So let's name the activity to something like reset password. Okay, everything is fine and click finish. So let's go to the layout part, activity reset password, and go to the split mode. Let's change the parent layout to linear layout. Set an orientation to vertical. Also give a gravity. And we can also give a padding. Now inside the layout, we have to create one edit text and a button. So we'll be inserting the email inside the edit text, and on clicking the button, we'll be sending the email to the user and doing the other steps. So edit text, match parent web content, and let's give an ID for the edit text. And let's give an ID like email. You can also give a hint for the edit text. Okay, now we have to create the button. Give an ID for the button, ID, and let's give the ID like BTN submit. Okay, we can also give a text for the button. Okay, so our layout part is almost complete. So we are just doing this much on the reset layout part. Okay, So go to the activity, that is reset password. That is the file that we just created. Okay, reset password.java. And inside this, we have to create objects for the edit text and the button. Let's initialize the edit text. Find view by ID, r.id dot, and here we have to use the ID that we just given. So if you go to the activity reset password, you can see the ID for email edit text is email. So use that ID. So you have to make sure the ID is perfectly matching, otherwise you will get error. Now for the button, you can set an on click listener for the button. So button dot set on click listener, new on click listener. Okay. Now inside this, we'll be making a volley request to our API. So for that, we have to add the volley to our project. So you can come to this article. I'll give the link for this on the description and scroll down. Here you can see the dependency for volley. So copy this dependency and come to the Android project, and you can go to Gradle scripts. Go to build Gradle, the second one, and scroll down. Inside the dependency, we have to paste this line. You can also refer the Google Volley official document. I'll give the link on the description. So let's click sync now, and we can close the build Gradle. So go to the article once more, scroll down. We have to add the permission for internet, and we will do that later. Scroll down, and you can see a post request. So here you can see creating a post request. You can copy this much and you can paste the lines here. So you can see this in red. So click here and type Alt Enter, and you can import the classes. Okay, so we are importing all the necessary classes. Click here, type Alt Enter, import class. Now you can see this text view. So simply remove this line and also this line. And inside this exception, you can do like error dot print stack trace. Okay, that's all. And here you can pass get application context. Okay, and we have to change the URL. So it is not HTTPS, so remove it, and it is HTTP slash. You have to remove this much, and here we'll be using the local IP address. If you are having the real server and all, you can use the URL. So let's go to the CMD, and you can type ipconfig. Here you can see inside the wireless LAN this IP address. This is the IPv4 address. So let's copy this address and we can paste it here. So if you're running this application inside a mobile, that is other than the emulator, you have to make sure that the mobile and the device, that is the system, is connected to the same Wi-Fi network. And you should not use the Wi-Fi network of the mobile. Otherwise, the IP address will keep changing and you will get errors. Okay. So I will recommend you to run this inside an emulator. Okay. Now after this, give a slash, and we have to copy the path to the PHP API. So go to the PHP Storm, and here we can see my project is inside SAMP htdocs login register Android. So let's copy the path for the reset password PHP. Copy the path. Okay, copy reference. Okay, and we can paste it here. We can remove this much from here, and after this, login the folder name, then give a slash Okay, now this is our API URL. Now if you try to open this inside the browser, we can see that it is working. So let's copy this and open it inside a browser. So let's paste it here and let's hit enter. Okay, you can see on the top all fields are required. Now this is because the post variables were not set. Okay, and you can see the API is working. So you have to run it inside a browser and make sure that the API is working. If you're using localhost, okay, so that is very important. If you're using the localhost SAMP, you have to make sure the API URLs are working. Now here inside this post request, you have to scroll down, and inside this get params, we have to pass the email address, because we are checking if the email address is set or not inside the reset password.php file. Hope you remember that. Okay, let's pass the email, and we can get the email from this edit text. So we are entering the email here. So let's pass the email. So edit text dot get text, and we have to transfer this to a string. Now that's all. So we are passing the email also. And inside the on response, we can check if the response string is equal to success. You remember that we are echoing success if all the transaction and all the things are success. Okay, so if response dot equals, and we are checking if it is success, success. Make sure you are using small letters, because we are echoing it inside small letters in the PHP. Open the if condition. Now we have to create an intent to open a new activity where we'll be inserting the new password. So we have to create a new activity for that. So click here, and so hope you understand how to create a new activity. So come here and right click, go to new, and you can see activity, and click empty activity. Okay, hope you understand that. And we'll be naming the activity like new password. Okay, let's click on finish, and you can see the activity is done. So go back to the reset password.java, and we'll be creating an intent to open the new activity. So intent object, okay, equal to new intent, get application context, comma, and we have to give the name of the new class, that is new password dot class. Okay, and then we have to start the activity. Before that, we have to also pass email to the new activity. So for that, we will be using intent dot put extra, and first one is the key name, and the key name is email, and we'll be passing the email address, that is edit text dot get text dot toString. Okay, that's all. Now we are passing the email address to the new activity as well. Okay, and we have to start the new activity. Start activity, and pass the object, that is intent. We have to finish the current activity after starting the new activity. Finish. So just call the finish function, that's all. And after this if condition, we can do the else part. Now we'll be showing a toast message. So this toast message will show the response. So if it is not success, we are echoing the error message. So hope you remember that. So it will show that error message as a toast here. Okay, that's all. Now if it is successful, we will be opening the new activity. So let's go to the new activity. So open the layout, and you can see activity new password. Okay, you can come to the split mode. Okay, you can copy everything from activity reset password. So go to activity reset password and copy this much, and you can go back to activity, new password, and paste it here. Now you have to change this context to new password. Okay. And we don't need this email, so we'll be only entering the OTP. So let's change this to enter OTP, and the ID will be something like OTP itself. Okay. Now we have an option to enter the OTP. Now we need an option to enter the new password. So let's copy this edit text. You can paste it here. Change the ID to new password. Okay. So let's change the hint to enter new password. Okay, that's all. So if you want to show a progress bar also, you can show a progress bar. Okay, let's give a progress bar. Progress bar, warp content. Let's give a margin of 20 dp. We have to give an ID. Okay. Now that's all with the progress bar. Now we have to set the visibility of the progress bar to gone. So visibility gone. We can copy this progress bar from here because we also need that inside the reset password. Okay. And come here to activity reset password.xml file and paste it here. And we have to implement this. So go to the reset password.java file and we have to create an object. So come here. So progress bar equal to find view by ID r.id.progress bar. So this is the ID of the progress bar. If you don't remember the ID, go back to the activity and you can see the XML part. So here you can see the ID of the progress bar. So you have to use the same ID. Okay. Now we can set the visibility of the progress bar inside this onClick function. Object for the progress bar dot set visibility. Visible. That's all. Now this will set the visibility of the progress bar to visible. And if you are seeing this kind of errors, you can simply ignore that. Now it is some kind of error inside Android Studio. So simply ignore that. When you run the application, it will go away. Okay. Now we also have to set the visibility to gone inside the on response and on error response also. Okay, you can see that we have set the visibility for the progress bar to gone inside the on response and also inside the on error response. Okay, now that's all with the progress bar. So you can close this and go to the new password.java. And here we have to create an object for the edit text. Now we have created an object for new password edit text and also for the edit text of OTP. And we have initialized them with the ID. You can see that we are using the correct IDs. Okay. Now we have to initialize the button equal to find view by ID r.id dot. Now the ID of the button is btn submit itself. Okay. So you have to make sure the IDs are perfectly matching, otherwise you will get errors. Okay. Now you can create the onClick listener. So for that you can go back to reset password.java and copy this much from here. Copy the onClick listener. Okay, this much from here to here. Okay. Copy it and go to new password and you can paste it here. Okay. Now you can see an error for the progress bar. So let's copy that also. So go to the reset password Java and copy this line. and you can paste it inside new password. Okay, so that's also solved. You can see this one, so we'll be removing this. Okay, I think, and here also, so here we have to pass the email. So for that we are passing the email from the reset password activity, and we have to get the email from here. Okay, so let's create a string, and in order to get the email that is passed from the another activity through intent, you can use get intent dot get extras dot get string, and inside that you can give the key name, and our key name is email. Okay, now this will get the email that we sent from this activity. Okay, you can see that we are sending the email here, and we are receiving the email in the new activity like this. Okay, so we are having the email, so let's pass that email here. Okay, so we are passing the email. We also have to pass the OTP and also the password, that is the new password. So let's duplicate these lines and change the key name to OTP, and the next one to new password, new hyphen password, because we are using this exact key name inside the PHP parts. So you have to make sure that we are using the same key name inside the Java part also. Okay, now let's pass the OTP. So in order to pass the OTP, you can use these edit text. Okay, so we are entering the OTP inside the edit text. Okay, so edit text OTP dot get text dot toString. Just like that, we are getting the password, that is edit text password dot get string dot toString. Okay, dot get text. Okay, sorry, I made a mistake. Okay, dot get text dot toString. Okay, now we are done with the Java part. Okay, we also have the on response part, we just forgot that. So if the response variable is success, we can show a toast message, and also we can open the login activity. Since we are also having the login activity in this project, we'll be opening that also. Okay, so for the toast, we can just copy this, paste it here, change the message, something like password has been reset or something like that. New password set. Okay, and we have to copy the intent from here and paste it here, and you can, okay, we missed some parts. Okay, let's type that. Okay, and you can remove this line, that is the put extra, and we have to change this class name to login.class. Okay, so if you are not having the login class, you can watch the video. We also have an explanatory video on login, register and logout in Android using the same procedure. So you can see that we are continuing that video. So you can watch that video and come back to this video. Okay, now we are done with that. Okay, we have to call the finish also. Okay, I think the Java part is also complete. So go to the manifest. Before completing, you have to make sure that you add this internet permission, and also you have to add use clear text traffic and make it to true. This is to allow HTTP links to work. Okay, so if you are not using HTTPS, you have to add this line. Okay, hope you understand that. And you have to add the permission for internet as well. And you can go to the new password.java, and we have to change this API URL. Okay, so we just forgot that, and the API URL is new password.php. Okay, and this is the URL. Okay, now we can try running the application and check if it is working. So you can see the app has launched, and this is the project for login and register. You can see we are having register, go to register part and go to login part, but we are not having an option to open the forget password option. So for that, you can go to activity login. Okay, let's minimize the emulator and go to split mode. Okay, let's make this bigger. Okay, and we have to add a text view. Okay, scroll down and let's copy this text view. And we can change the ID to forget password or something. And you can change the text. Okay, I think the text is too big. So let's remove the margin, maybe margin bottom. And you can also remove the padding. So let's remove that. Okay, I think it is fine. So let's keep it like that. Okay, now we have added the text view. Go to the login.java file where we are doing the login part. So go to here and we have to create an object for the text view. So come here, text view forget password, forgot password. Okay, now let's initialize the text view. We have to set an on click listener for this text view. So here itself you can do that. Text view forgot password dot set on click listener, new on click listener. And here we have to write an intent to open the forgot password activity. So you can copy this from here and paste it here. And we have to change this class name to forgot password. What is the class name is reset password. Okay. So reset password. Okay. Now this will open the reset password activity and finish the current activity. Okay. Okay. So let's run this again. You can see the app has launched. So let's click on forgot password. And you can see the option to enter email is here. So let's go to the database and let's check which user is being registered already. So here you can see that we are having a user registered with this email address. So let's copy this email. Okay, let's use this to reset the password. So let's enter the email here. So we have entered the email address. Now let's click on the submit. You can see the progress bar is being shown. So let's wait to complete the email sending part. So you can see something has happened and we are not moving to the new activity. So let's check what happened. So for that you can go to the logcat and let's check the logs. Okay, and here you can see Android Volley timeout error. So this is because we have to extend the execution time for Volley. So let's minimize this and go to reset password. Okay, let's minimize the emulator. And here, before this queue.add, come here and type string request dot set retry policy, new retry policy. Okay, here we have to set the time for the execution. So let's set this to something like 30,000 and the next one also. Okay, now you can give a semicolon here. Okay, that's all. Now we can try running the app again. I think this will fix the issue. Okay. Okay, go to the forget password and let's type the email. support@codecc.com. Okay, let's click on submit. Okay, let's wait for it to complete. So you can see the OTP has been sent to the email and we are redirected to the new page. So let's go to the email and check if we received the OTP. So you can see that we received the email. So you can see the title and all. So this is our content, that is the text body. So this is our OTP. So let's copy this OTP and we can paste the OTP here. And we can set a new password. So let's set the new password to 123 for now. And we can click on submit. Okay, new password set and we are redirected to the login screen. So let's go to our phpMyAdmin and check if the password got updated or not. So here you can see we are having the reset password OTP and all, and also created a time. Okay, now let's try refreshing the page and you can see the password also. Now it is like this. And when we try to refresh, these values will change. Okay, so let's try refreshing it. And you can see the reset password OTP has gone. And also the created at part is also gone. And we are having a new password here. Okay. So our reset password operation was successful. So hope you understand how to implement reset password option inside Android. If you like to download the full source code of this project, you can come to this URL. I will give the link for all this in the description and you can check that out. You can come to this URL and you can download it from here. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more such videos.